Oh, you're gonna do a little dance.
Make a little noise.
That's
Get down tonight.
nice. That's nice. This is episode 139 of the Fortean Slip. Thank you for joining us, the none of you that are here.
Well, there will be some. It always puts me up as the thumbnail. That's the cool part, and I don't know why that is, but
I don't know. I have no control over that. If I did, it would be different.
I know.
So I don't know what to tell you, Steve. I am posting the links now.
I don't have to post links.
Fun stuff.
People will just show up.
Will they?
No.
Exactly, Steve. That's why this show needs to be promoted every fucking time. It needs to be gotten out to the people, Steve. Because we suck. A tremendous big bag of dicks. Now, for some people, that might be a wonderful thing. But when I use that reference, I'm using it as a bad thing.
I'm not a bag of dicks fan.
No? I figured you were. I thought you would be on board with the bag of dicks.
Not even a little. Did you give yourself a thumbs up already on the episode here?
Maybe I did. On the YouTube channel?
Yes.
No.
No, somebody did.
I haven't given myself a thumbs up on the fucking YouTube channel yet. Come on now. What kind of a person do you take me for?
It's like liking your own Facebook posts.
I do that sometimes, but very rarely. Not. Very, very rarely, Steve.
It's, I just can't bring myself to do that.
Yeah?
But whatever. Yeah. It's all good.
Anywho. Yeah, we are live. So, Steve, I almost bought myself a coloring book tonight.
Why?
Well, because I was, looking through the adult coloring book section, and I came across this one, because a lot of them are those, like, fucking funky designs and weird shit. They got all kinds of fucked up shit, but all geometric patterns.
Right.
And I liked it. I thought it was really cool. And I said, man, I should fucking pick this up, but I didn't. I didn't fall through.
You shouldn't second guess yourself. How much was said coloring book?
It was $4, Steve.
Oh my God, Chris! You can't pop on $4.
Well, it was
hours and hours of entertainment.
Listen, I would have had to have bought colored pencils separately, which would have cost me, a little more.
89
hours
cents
of enjoyment
at the fucking dollar store.
Well, I'm pretty anal. I'd want a pretty big package of fucking colored pencils. So I want some options. Gotta have options. Buy two.
Yeah, you can like mix. I don't know, melt them.
Colors.
I don't know what you do. I don't know what to do.
Dipshit. The fuck is wrong with you?
I don't know.
I do. It scares me. Every fucking week.
And yet.
Every fucking week.
Yet you still have me here.
And I wonder why. All the time. We can't manage to get Richard on the show. Because lately, schedules have not exactly lined up in a manner. Luckily, Steve and I can manage to be somewhere on the same page, relatively speaking.
Relatively.
Because we're in the same time zone. See, that was the other problem when we had Matt on the show, too. Matt was an hour behind us because he was one time zone over. And every so often, Matt would forget subtract an hour from the start time that I would give him because it would get confusing if I would try to change it up for him. And it wound up being a mess so many times. This fucking cross time zone shit. Nobody's paying attention to anything.
It's like,
well, no, it's my time.
Well, where Richard is, it's like stupid o'clock in the morning. So, you know, it's a lot harder for him to
that
be
it
part
is.
of this. And we tend to do it at this time. I mean, 9, 10 o'clock at night usually. So,
yeah, I mean, we were doing it quite a bit earlier for a while, but I mean, things have fucking changed around. Like I've been saying in recent weeks, my living situation has been an atrocious horror. So I've been trying to do my best to hook up with these guys to put together something so that we could, you know, still continue the show. The real suck pill about it was we went over a month without doing a show because of all my internet problems with you know, at the place that I was staying and all the issues that I was having. It just can get anything together.
it's all your fault.
I suck.
I was ready and willing and able to do this shit. You know?
Oh yeah.
Always.
Mister. No. Hey, Steve, what time's good for you? 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Hey, Steve, you ready to go? Yeah, I gotta go pick up from this, and I'll be ready to go in like 15 minutes after I get back.
Who didn't? I said 8:30, 9 o'clock.
That doesn't happen, right?
No. I said 8:30, 9 o'clock tonight, and you didn't contact me till after 9:30.
It was around 9:30.
So I was already, you know, doing something, and I had to finish it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jerking off the dog?
No, dog does that. Well, she's female, so it doesn't.
Finger blasting the dog? I don't fucking know, Steve.
No, I don't do that stuff. That's.
You know, into pleasure in your animals. You know, like that woman that was jerking off the dolphin.
No, not even a little.
No, you won't do it for science.
Science?
Science, as if it was all in the name of science, Steve.
She was. Let me get this straight. She was masturbating animals for science.
Listen, if you've got a fucking horny ass dolphin and you're trying to train that dolphin and you're trying to do like, because they were trying to do like cross species communication and shit with them.
That's a weird way to communicate.
You gotta fucking, you know, you gotta give a little.
So what kind of communication was that teaching the dolphin?
Well, I think it was more or less that it was calming the dolphin down because the dolphin was a horny little fuck.
Yeah. So she took it upon herself to relieve the dolphin's horniness.
Yes.
I can't think of the scientific term at this moment.
Yes.
Was this approved?
It's like that whole thing it's like that. Listen, it's like that whole thing that is talked about in There's Something About Mary when he tells the guy, hey, fucking jerk off before you go out on the date, then there's no fucking pressure. You've already gotten the fucking poison out.
I don't think it's anything like that, to be honest with you.
No, Steve?
I think
you just think you're a fucking sex machine? Is that it?
I am?
No, I'm saying that's what you think of yourself as? You're just a sex machine? There's no stopping you?
There's sometimes no starting me.
Yeah, that I can see.
How did that come out of my mouth? Why would I even say something like that? I mean, that puts me in a bad light.
You're in a bad light.
I got
you have bad lighting
fixed. No, it looks good tonight.
Your lighting situation blows, as does mine. We don't exactly have studios, Steve.
This is as close as I'll ever have to a studio, and I like it.
Whatever makes you happy, buddy. You know, that's all I want. That's my whole goal with this, is whatever makes Steve Alcorn happy.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah, I think so.
That should be everybody's goal.
According to you.
No.
No?
No, I think there should be like a presidential executive order.
An executive order. You want Trump to sign one of those things and put it up and go,
yes.
And then have a Supreme Court judge knock it down?
No, there should be a holiday. I'm just saying.
For you?
Someday there will be. Hey, look at that.
For Steve Alcorn.
Oh, I don't know if you can see it.
I can't see shit, Steve.
Yeah. It's telling me you're live. So I get an email notification.
I'm live?
Yeah. Fortean Slip is now live. We're live. Holy fuck. I thought.
I'm live. Wow. Somebody should have told me that. No. That's a response to Phil's statement in the chat room. Just no.
I'm not taser approved?
No, you are Team Taser approved, Steve. We all understand that.
I was just, reminiscing and felt like I should.
And I also want you to understand that being Team Taser approved means you have absolutely zero credibility anywhere.
I agree with that statement.
Just saying. So, and I tried to ask you if there was anything, any good stories going on or any good happenings in the Fortean world. And I got from you that you're too busy selling junk on eBay.
Well, I'm not. Well, yeah, I guess technically, if you want to consider quality used goods as junk, then yes, that's what I'm doing, and I'm making pretty good money doing it too.
You took a shit in a box and told somebody it was Bigfoot scat.
That's a good scam, though. I'll try that.
Is that where you're going next? Bigfoot scat in a box.
I haven't had to resort to selling haunted shit yet, but if the sales go down, I might try that.
Skookum shit packs.
We never did, manufacture that. We should have. Just a novelty item.
Skookum cigarettes?
Yeah, we should have made a little novelty, like candy cigarettes.
I don't know about candy cigarettes, but
it's never too late.
We don't want to market these things to children, Steve.
Yes, we do.
No.
They were marketed to us when we were children.
What's wrong with you? Yeah, and we both wound up being smokers.
Yeah, because of candy cigarettes.
That's right. I blame it all on candy cigarettes. It's a conspiracy that they fucking were hooking the kids on candy cigarettes. And them bitches, Steve. I'm gonna Alex Jones this bitch all the way to the top.
Nicotine and candy cigarettes.
It's a false flag operation, Steve.
No, but I liked how they put powder in them, so if you blew on them, it would be like smoke. But you only got one puff, so it didn't work real well. But it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You got to have the realism.
So I went to a bookstore this week, an actual real bookstore, Chris. It's all used books. Yeah. Well, you were telling me earlier that you were, looking to purchase some books. Maybe I'll have to go there and see if he's got them because he might have the books you're looking for, and I might be able to get them a little cheaper. But anyway, they have a whole section of UFO and mysterious shit books that I was browsing through. It's pretty cool, actually.
Mysterious shit in a box, Steve. There you go.
There was a book on the Loch Ness Monster. He didn't have the book I was looking for. I wanted The Flying Saucers Are Real by Donald Kehoe, because it's kind of like the first, not the first, but it's one of the first, UFO books in the modern era. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to buy that one off of eBay. But he had just about every fucking thing else. It's pretty cool.
I took a trip to the flea market again today, and they have a bunch of different book sections that I perused through, and up one book today. But I've been, and I really don't. I was telling you about this earlier. I want these books, and not because I really desire to have the books because they're written by a certain person or because of the story that I had when I was younger. And it's the Mission Earth series by L. Ron Hubbard.
That explains a whole lot.
And it's a 10-book series, and I finally found it all in hardcover, every single book, all 10 of them, all together. And I'm like been hem and hawing about, what I'm willing to fucking pay for them.
Just buy them.
Oh, I know, because I fucking want them, and I've wanted them for a long time. But
you've been telling me about this for weeks.
Well, I only saw them. God, it was for the first time, and I went back today, and they were all still there. So I just gotta figure it out.
Because nobody else wants L. Ron Hubbard books. That's why.
Right, exactly. nobody wants any LRH except for fucking Tom Cruise and David Miscavige.
I heard Tom Cruise was leaving. Did he ever leave?
No, he's still fucking right in there.
Is he?
Come on now.
Remember,
still Mr. Scientology.
We did a whole show on that shit. And he was talking about leaving, or the rumor was he was leaving for his children or something like that. He never did, huh? I mean, I didn't follow up with it or anything.
I don't believe so. I just listened to the Joe Rogan podcast where he interviewed Leah Remini. She's doing that show, or she just did that show on all the people that were in Scientology telling their stories, et cetera, et cetera. And it was really fascinating, a lot of the stuff that she was saying, like about how they keep the records on people, how you're supposed to give reports on other people if they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing, the amount of labor work that you're supposed to put in every day, that you're required to put in. And like, she'd be on set and she'd get done with a full day of being on set, have to go over there and do at least like 2.5 or 3 hours of fucking work over at the Scientology place. And it, God forbid if she missed any of it, you had to make it up. You still had to do the fucking work. And they got paid fucking pennies for doing it. I mean, that Scientology is a fucking racket, man. That is a fucking full-blown racket.
Oh, I think I've said it on the show before. L. Ron Hubbard said, well, it's at least attributed to L. Ron Hubbard, if you want to be a millionaire, start a fucking religion, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but basically that's what he said. I'm like, he's right. Look, he died a rich man. He did a lot of writing and shit, but it's
prolific writer of our time. He wrote more fiction than anyone ever.
But they were like dime store novels for the most part. I mean, he wasn't a bazillionaire from his books. He was a bazillionaire from his fucking religion.
From Dianetics.
And it probably sold books too. Sold his old
Dianetics.
Books. I mean, look.
Read the book that will change your life. Dianetics.
I got through what?
If you want a 5-hour erection without a pill, Dianetics.
I still have it on my iPod. I haven't finished listening. I couldn't get through the whole thing. It was like too much nicey.
If you'd like to fuck multiple women at the same time, Dianetics.
I'm actually thinking about reading the Book of Mormon. I haven't got there yet. They don't have it on audio tape as far as I can find yet. So on the audio book, I mean.
Check it out. Joseph Smith.
When I say reading.
Nice con man religion. That's some good shit right there.
Well, it just shows you the nature of people, you know. You find, I mean,
the nature of the beast.
We talked about it last time. I mean, if you don't even have to fucking be convincing anymore, and people just follow you just because. I don't get it. So, I mean, people follow us. We're not very convincing at anything.
We're dumb as shit. I mean, I don't know about you, Steve, but I am one dumb motherfucker.
I don't know. I want to get to rock star status sooner or later, but we haven't.
Your team Taser approved, Steve.
Yeah, but I'm not rock star approved or anything like that yet. I need to be.
What is rock star approved, Steve?
I don't know, but I want to get there.
You want rock star status.
That's what I want.
Thanks, Steve. Your wife doesn't want you to have rock star status.
No, she wouldn't appreciate that very much at all, to be honest.
Yeah, no.
She
that shit would not fly.
No, she enjoys the simple life, and so do I. So we're okay with that.
Yeah.
I'd like a few extra bucks. A few extra bucks, though, would be nice.
Yeah. You want the rock star status in only a few areas.
Well, yeah, just the fame, but not the the responsibility that goes along with it.
Ah.
Yeah. See,
all the good parts, none of the bad parts. Steve Alcorn's philosophy in life. Yes.
Isn't that the way it should be?
Well, that's all I want.
And this is why there should be a national holiday.
I want something that is almost totally unattainable. That's what I think I deserve. Steve Alcorn.
That's right.
So, Steve, people have been complaining that you're not doing your, and I'm quoting a listener, retarded news.
Where did you see this? Because I didn't hear about it. Nobody's complaining.
I can't remember if it was a YouTube comment or if it was in the Facebook like page or what, but one of the viewers of the Fortean Slip left that lovely little message. I can't remember. It was a little longer than that. I do believe.
I just don't understand why people even like the news. To be honest with you, there is actually a thing called retarded news on the internet. Huh. I just looked it up because I was going to come up with a really stupid news story and read it, but
there's all kinds of shit out there, Steve.
Huh. You learn something new every day. I haven't figured out how to do it with the live here yet, so I guess we'll get there maybe eventually. Probably not.
No, we're not gonna.
Somebody left me a real nice comment today on YouTube about old Todd Standing, CFL, an old Todd Standing video I did, and it was scathing. They didn't like my take on it, apparently. When he said that bears don't put off a thermal signature. Now, some bears, like polar bears, because of the way they're insulated, may not put as much of a thermal signature off. But he was talking about grizzlies and black bears and shit like that. So anyway, so I got some hate today on my.
He was talking about Fozzie Bear, Steve.
Well, yeah, he does have a relationship with the Muppets, or the creator of the Muppets, or maybe he is the creator. Maybe he's Jim Henson. Maybe he didn't really die. He just became Todd Standing.
It ain't easy being green, Steve. Or Todd Standing, for that matter.
Who, fell off.
Where in the world is Todd Standing?
I don't know.
Todd Standing.
I don't know. He was talking about.
Where did that man go?
Him and his wife were trying to do this reality show based out of Canada, but it was like a cruise ship They were going to travel on a cruise ship or something, or a yacht, maybe it was, and just travel around. And I don't know what the premise of the show was, but maybe that's what he's doing, riding around on a boat somewhere. Is a yacht a boat?
He's
Yeah,
like
it's
L.
not a
Ron
ship. A
Hubbard.
ship is bigger.
He created his own Sea Org
Mm-hmm.
on a fucking ship that never goes into a port because he's afraid he's gonna get jacked.
You gotta think that if you're the leader of your religion has to stay on a ship, because if he puts in a port anywhere, he's going to get arrested. That something is probably wrong with the religion you're following. I'm just saying.
L. Rage, man. I think we should do it. I think you and I should go full bore. Let's get back. Let's get you back into Dianetics. I'll become clear. You can become clear.
Right.
You're really queer.
I'm not queer.
And they'll hold it against you.
Yeah, but
that's how they'll keep. That's how they'll keep you in the organization.
Oh, because I don't want anybody to know that? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that inside you're really queer.
But I'm not.
Steve, I'm making the story as I go. It sounds good. Let's go with it.
But I don't want to be queer.
You're going to go through all your e-meter tests. They're going to find out that you and Chris Hansen have had multiple discussions on television.
I haven't had any discussions with. I don't even know who Chris Hansen is.
To Catch a Predator, Steve.
I have never seen that. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Try to deny it all you want. But yeah, so I mean, these I don't even want to call them wacko religions. I mean, I guess at the base idea of what Scientology is trying to do, they really think they're trying to better themselves. I mean, because if you look at what Dianetics talks about and what the Scientology is trying to do, they're trying to clear these negative energies from their body. If you look at any type of or ritual magic or druidism, they're doing the same type of things. They're doing like these opening banishing rituals where they're trying to banish negative energies from the space they're in before they practice their rituals, which are basically fucking prayers. So at its core, I don't think that the information, I mean, and this doesn't include the whole fucking Xenu fucking, I'm just talking about the whole idea of making yourself clear, that philosophy of trying to ground yourself and get these negative energies out of yourself. I think that's a tenet of all types of religions in some way.
Oh yeah.
To have this clean slate.
I suppose the core idea is a good one, in a way, of any religion, to be honest.
But
except
if you look at what's happened with it and how it's being run and the people who are in control of it, pretty fucking crazy. I mean, if a lot of the shit is true, it's gotten pretty fucking crazy. I mean, let's face facts here.
Well,
people are getting beaten, and I was just listening to a show the other day, and this guy that does a blog specifically on Scientology, and I can't remember his name. I'm sure if you look it up, you'll be able to find it. They were talking about how David Miscavige's wife has been missing. Like, she's disappeared. And nobody really knows where she is.
They had her disappeared, huh?
Yeah, like that's some weird shit that goes on with that.
So David Miscavige,
and David Miscavige, dude, he is a fucking pretty fucking whacked out dude. This guy was saying, this guy that does this blog says that this guy Miscavige, children, because he doesn't want their thetans getting attached to him.
A thetan. What is a thetan?
That's the negative energies, Steve.
Right. Okay. I'm not hip on Scientology. I'm trying to figure this out. But
I'm
now,
not
David,
either. I just happened to listen to a bunch of shit about it. So,
so did I,
I
but
got
I forgot.
You were reading Dianetics, for fuck's sake.
I listened to like
You were all in.
half of it, and I just got, I was getting too close to the truth, so I had to quit. David Miscavige, he's the
Mel
leader.
Gibson.
Miscavige is the leader now of Scientology, right?
Yes.
Okay. That I know.
And he kind of, from what I gather, he got close to L. Ron Hubbard at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
And when L. Ron Hubbard died, he kind of just friggin' took it. He just took it.
Right.
He just ran with it, and he's had it ever since.
Does he have a cool name like L-Rach or anything like? Dave
No,
Maz,
there's
maybe?
no. They don't. He doesn't get a funky little,
D-Maz. Well, that's what I'm gonna call him.
No.
Anyway.
None of that shit goes on with the Mr. Miscavige. I don't get it.
That shit, right?
I just want a fucking 10-part science fiction novel series by L. Ron Hubbard. That's all I give a fuck about, man. That's it.
Well, was his science fiction good? I mean, I never read any of it, so I don't know.
I never read it.
You had the books as a child.
Yeah, I had them. And I want to have them again.
You didn't read them?
No, I never read them.
Well, why not?
I started reading the first one, and I think I actually finished the first one, but I never continued on with it. And not because I didn't want to.
The only series of books I've ever read in my entire life was The Chronicles of Narnia. I read all those, but nothing else, and nothing by L. Ron Hubbard.
I've never read anything by L. Ron Hubbard except from that first book there. And like I said, I am not even sure if I finished it. I can't remember. It was so long ago.
He wrote 60,000 million books. I mean, you had to have read one somewhere. You're a big reader. I mean, I don't read much of anything.
No. See, the thing is, for the longest time, I avoided science fiction. Avoided it like the fucking plague. Like, I was into, like, Star Trek, the TV show, Star Trek novel, or any other type of science fiction novel. I just could not. It did not hold my interest whatsoever. Now, fantasy, like the swords and sorcerers, type shit, that I took to like I was all over it. Like the Hobbit, fucking Fellowship of the Ring, the Dragonlance series, Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time. I read the Sword of Truth series by Terry Goodkind. I've read all of that. I just love fantasy. It's one of my favorite genres of fiction. Later on, I got into science fiction, and I started reading more and more of it. I finally read Neuromancer a few years back. Loved that. It's a cyberpunk novel. That was way ahead of its time. And I read I, Robot, which was not what I expected it to be. And I really like Asimov after reading that. It was because it's really like a collection of stories. It's not one whole story in one book. It's a collection of stories. It's about robots, not about a whole story that but they're all interconnected. It's really weird. So
they're interlinked. I didn't read it. I listened to the audiobook because my eyes just can't read. I can't read all day long. So anyway, I listened to the audiobook and it was fascinating, actually. It was really good. And I liked how all those stories, they were separate stories from like separate time period, but they were all interconnected. It was really good. That iRobot was great. So,
right.
Because I hadn't read it.
Always about trying. Each story was kind of about how they would find glitches in this programming laws, or the 4 laws, I can't remember how many fucking laws there were, that the robots had to abide by. And so the first story in the book, I think these 2 guys are on Mercury, and the robot starts fucking up, and the whole thing is they got to figure out how to make the robot go back to work, to go back to doing the shit that it's supposed to be doing, so that they don't die. Now, and I loved reading through it, and I've got all of the other ones in the robot series. Someone else told me that I should check out the Foundation series that he did, which is like his, I guess, the pinnacle of, the shit that he wrote, according to some people. So, but I did get into science fiction quite a bit later on in life, and I enjoy it now. So
I was never a big science. I like it on TV, like, Star Trek and shit like that, but I never liked to read it. But I was more into, I don't know if it's considered science fiction, like Fahrenheit 451, that kind of shit, or
yeah, in a way it is
stuff that actually
like that,
could happen, because something like that could happen. It's not that far off,
right?
really.
You're talking like 1984 shit
those
like that, right?
Those kind of books is what I read, as a youth. So a youth when I was young.
When you were a young man. When Steve was a young, svelte man.
The only fanciful thing I read was like, the Chronicles of Narnia. But other than that, it was more stuff that, I don't know. I guess I've been into conspiracy type shit for a long time, because 1984 and Fahrenheit 451, that was what I was reading as a kid. So
I never read Fahrenheit 451, read 1984 or Animal Farm or any of that shit. Got into those kind of the alternate, or that vision of the future type shit. Got into that type of stuff, and I never got into the whole, like I said, the science fiction angle on stuff. So the post-apocalyptic stuff never really held anything for me either.
I don't know. I really like
it later on in life.
Well, I like it because if you look at the stories and what they're really telling, I mean, that stuff goes on, just not to that extent, So I liked it. I mean, that was, even as a kid, that was what I was into. So now I'm not into politics or anything, but I was for a long time. I read Rush Limbaugh's first book.
Of course you did.
I used to be a big Rush Limbaugh fan.
You and Rush.
Not so much anymore.
Fucking popping OxyContin and fucking getting on the radio.
The way things ought to be. Before he was into, yes, the way
that was when Clinton was president, right?
Yes, or right around that time, yeah.
Clinton, you remember the Clinton days, Steve?
A little bit.
Remember that? That was a beautiful time, Steve. Just beautiful.
Well, that's when I was into politics, and I was not, and I'm still not a Bill Clinton fan, and I'm not a Hillary Clinton fan, and so, but as a young, impressionable adult, in my early 20s, I had to find somebody who kind of agreed with me about my view on politics at that time. They're a totally different story now, obviously, but back then. And Rush Limbaugh was the only guy on the fucking radio who was, because we didn't have real, I mean, we had the internet, but it wasn't like it is today. So you didn't go on Facebook and see people posting every 5 seconds about some fake news story. It was that's where you got your fake news, right? From radio talk shows. So I was a radio talk show junkie. But then I'd listen to the liberal guy right after him. It was a local guy. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but so he would be Barry Dane Steinhagen. That was his name. He's actually still on the radio, but he doesn't do political shit.
And that's what he went by. Barry, what was it?
Barry Dane Steinhagen. Yeah, he's still on the radio.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, Barry, change up the fucking name.
Oh, the guy's a
And
douchebag.
you and your other left-leaning fucking radio hosts need to fucking jackasses.
He was a local radio show host. And he had to be like the liberal version of Rush Limbaugh because he came on either right before or right after Rush Limbaugh. It was hilarious.
How do you,
So I listened.
how do you
So I
fucking
listened to
follow
both sides.
Rush Limbaugh with a fucking liberal slanted fucking talk show?
Because that's the way it was
wow.
fair. It was fair and balanced, just like Fox News.
Balanced.
But
Rush
it was like
Limbaugh into that.
opposite sides of the spectrum. And then they put Sean Hannity on. I never was a Sean Hannity fan. So, and I'm not a Limbaugh fan anymore either. But I was at one time.
I've never been a political talk show fan. One podcast that I do like quite a bit is the We the People Live with Josh Zepps, I think it is. He's an Australian guy. Bar, and they all sit around and have drinks and they talk politics. And they have, sometimes there's arguments, sometimes there's, heated discussion, whatever, but it's actual discussion.
Good.
It's not your normal bullshit.
Well, that's the way things should be, but they never will be and never have been, so.
Well, no, see, here's the thing, Steve. The times, they are a-changing.
You think?
You and I do. Okay? This medium is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not huge for us because we suck.
Right.
We just, all talent goes out the fucking window. We blow. But the medium itself is doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
You got guys like Joe Rogan who are monsters in the podcast world. Podcast / webcast, whatever you want to call this shit, because he does it live on YouTube. He streams it live on YouTube. He has the podcast version that goes to iTunes. It's on Stitcher. He's getting fucking 20 million something downloads or some shit like that. I mean, that shit's crazy.
And it's still in its infancy if you think about it. I mean,
right.
Eventually, broadcast TV of any sort is going to be a thing of the past, and this is what you're going to have, so which is cool,
right? And if you and I lived in somewhat of a proximity to one another, and you and I could have a studio,
mm-hmm.
Obviously our production value would be a little better. We might be able to do things, actually have guests, et cetera, et cetera.
That settles it then. You got to move to Ohio.
No, that shit's not happening. So,
then fuck it.
But, it is what it is. What we have is what we have. Until such a time as I can, put together some type of
to Ohio.
Little studio for myself. And, obviously I'll always have to have Steve piped in from Ohio. I wonder, what the dollar amount would have to be for Steve to go, okay, I'm in with moving to wherever Chris tells me to go.
There isn't any dollar amount because it ain't happening.
I wonder, how many zeros would have to come after the one?
A lot.
I wonder.
A lot.
I wonder. And for the record, we'll never get that offer.
Never.
Not in a million fucking years. So, yeah. The direction of the show. Something I wanted to talk about.
Oh.
Like the direction of the show. Because obviously we've switched gears, Steve.
A little bit.
I hate to break down the fourth wall here to this long-running program at this point. Long-running program that nobody listens to and or watches.
A few people do.
And we were talking a little bit earlier tonight about, my situation with how things have been fucking odd for me. And I know that my fucking whole personality's took a hit in the past year. Fucking bullshit. So, and starting off with that, those first few shows we did when I came back after all the shit started with me and my ex, I was a wreck for a really long time. So that put and we were still putting out shows and still doing shit and still trying to out and make it work. And I put on my happy face and tried to just get through and plow through everything. I don't want anyone to think that I don't still love doing this. If I didn't, I would not get on here. I wouldn't bother with this bullshit. If it was something where I fucking hated it and I didn't want to do it, why would I even bother? I don't make fucking. I make dick doing it. On the scale of things, I make very little doing this on YouTube. Yes, it's monetized. Yes, I fucking throw extra ads in it. I want it to make money, but it just fucking, it makes what it makes. Down from everything. I went through an amazing growth period on my blog and YouTube. My blog was making fucking killer money. Came out from underneath it. And now it makes shit in comparison to what it was making. I was getting a fucking nice little check every month, and now months. If that tells you anything. So we've gone through some fucking drastic changes with me, with having to move around, trying to make sure I had an internet connection, trying to make sure I had, the ability to fucking use my computer, because it's fucking, my desktop's a fucking mess right now. I mean, it's still usable, but it's just for recording purposes. For some reason, there's a fucking problem. And Steve has been a fucking trooper as far as sticking it out with the fucking show. And we've gone through our moments over the years, wondering whether or not we were going to be able to hold it together and keep it going. And but it was the test to see if I could fucking hold on to it. And amazingly, I kept my dick in my hand and just kept on stroking.
I let somebody else hold my dick. What?
Well, I don't trust anybody else holding my dick. And that's the reason why I told Steve, hey, let's fucking just dump doing the news for a little while. Let's figure out what this is, where we're fucking going with it, what we're going to do, how, and how we're going to manage to, because we've said this so many times. It's basically a hobby. It's something we just fucking do for fun. Enjoy it, and I enjoy creating something and putting it out there for you guys to fucking listen to and have a good time with, and we joke around, but obviously I want to put out something that matters. I don't want it to be just a bag of dog shit. So I decided to kind of take a break from that for a little bit. None of us really wants to put any effort into outside of when we hit the button to fucking record, which is what it comes down to. I work a shit ton. And, Steve doesn't really work a shit ton.
Oh, come on now.
You have to admit your schedule's a little more open than mine.
Woohoo! I got a new subscriber on YouTube. Go ahead.
Really?
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
See, that's the difference. I don't have to put shit out and still get subscribers.
Anyhow, so we decided to stop doing the news, and I want to bring it back in the right way and do things the right way. And now that we're doing the show live, I have to figure out all the things, the programs that I'm going to need to be able to pipe the audio in that I want, because I want to be able to pipe in the, the production shit like we had before, so that it doesn't sound like, hey, we're here, because it's fucking stupid. If you ask me, it took a lot away from what we were doing, but it wasn't anything that I had any control over, because it was either, hey, you do a live show to Google Hangouts, or you aren't doing anything because you can't record a fucking show. And it's really hard to get Richard on with us because of the time zone thing, which we were talking about earlier. From time to time, try to get Matt. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Of course, we fucking love it when it does. Matt is and always will be, the core of this fucking show. He was here when we started, so. And I think even Richard said, hey, I've always thought that I'm just sitting here keeping Matt's chair warm. Because Richard still, even though he's part of the show now, he still fucking loves, even though he can't listen to it most of the time because, it's too much for him. But he would love to see Matt back on the show, and as I would, and I think as would a lot of people. Matt had opportunities to do things that would make him money.
Cha-ching,
For me to blame him for that, fucking hypocritical. Because if I had those opportunities, I'd fucking drop this in a fucking New York minute. These came along. Because, no one likes being fucking broke.
Not even a little.
Sucks. So, yeah, the show has kind of changed, and it's been slow. And the thing that's really changed it is this live show, which it took us a little while to get used to because none of us understood how to do it. And of course, I have to take care of everything because it's my fucking show. So Steve isn't going to sit there and run all the shit for me, and come on and be a part of the show.
I wouldn't know
It's
how.
it's just my responsibility to take care of it all. So I had to figure all that out. So we've been on a learning curve there. But I am going to try to get us back into some type of a cohesive outline of what we normally do. Try to keep it loose. Now, I never want us to be so rigid that we can't move around. I like the flexibility that we have with this show. One of the reasons why I picked the idea of doing quote unquote Fortean topics, and Fortean doesn't even include all the shit that we would talk about. Because a lot of the conspiracy theory shit isn't considered Fortean. The technology stuff that we'll talk about from time to time, Fortean. But we've, and I've experimented with tons of different shit over the years. And I was saying on the last episode, I do want to start doing the Science Minute again, get into a groove with those sorts of things, but I do want to get the Science Minute going back up. I don't know if I want to do it as a minute, though, type of a science news, because it just, it makes sense. It was one of those things that did really well for me, and the people liked it. A lot of the people really enjoyed it. They enjoyed having those little snippets to check out. reading a fucking news story about it. Because most of the time when I did that, the only thing that I was adding in was some little fucking stupid ass joke at the end. You know, other than that, it was the article. Now, granted, most of the time I would rewrite those articles because I was trying to keep them around a minute. So that was the other thing that made it hard with those, was I was rewriting everything. So it was taking my time rewriting it, recording it, uploading it, promoting it, etc., etc., etc. But as Steve knows, it takes a lot when you do a lot of this shit. Sometimes it's quick and easy and painless. Sometimes it can be a real pain in the ass.
I can
Because
tell
it
you
takes up.
on my on my channel, I will record a video 10, 15 times before I actually upload it, because it's got to be right, you know, even, and then it's not right. I suck. But yeah, it
Yeah,
takes fucking time to do that shit.
I was doing the last bedtime story that I just did. I picked out my stories, got everything all set up, got it all ready to go, hit record, recorded the whole fucking thing, got it all done. Just to delete it out of Audacity, and could not get it back. Had to go back and re-record the whole fucking thing all over again.
And that's the kind of thing that people, when they're watching any YouTuber, you know, they don't realize that's the shit that goes into this. I mean, you lose shit all the time, or it doesn't come out right. The audio isn't where. I mean, how many times we recorded a whole fucking show and there was no audio? You know.
Oh, that's that whole month that we didn't do a show. Well, it was a little over a month, but
we recorded like
three or four shows, and none of the audio was usable. None of it. Now, tell me, people, how fucking frustrating that was for me. And that's excited, get jacked, get on, do the show, come off, go to listen to the audio, and find these big, massive problems with it.
And then one of those shows had Matt Knapp in it with us, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was even more frustrating.
A whole show on the Mandela effect with Matt Knapp. Did it really happen? Maybe only in an alternate universe.
I think so.
But yeah, and so this shit it's been going on with us for, you know, it's been for the better part of a year now, trying to fucking find out this thing was gonna fucking sink or swim. For me.
And, yeah, well, even with me too. I mean, you know, and I don't speak about publicly my personal issues really, but I had some shit go on towards the end of the year, and it was fucking a rough time, man.
And I figure if I was able to make it through, you know, getting through and still being able to put out these shows through this past year, that I keep it going. I've always wanted to keep it going. I've never wanted to dump it. It's fucking, you know, good money or this mediocre money. I like having the outlet. I like being able to get out there and just fucking say whatever I want and talk about these weird, strange topics that I've always enjoyed since I was a fucking little kid. You know, I can remember being a little kid and waiting for those big blocks of shows that they would put on, you know, around like Halloween or whatever, that was always the fucking ghosts and Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster and all this fucking bullshit all wrapped into one. So you just get this fucking of all this shit all in one shot. And I would just sit and watch through every episode that they had on there of whatever it was. You know, it's been a passion of mine, whether or not I believe in it or not.
You don't have to.
Like even being as skeptical as I am about it all, I still love it. I still enjoy it. It's a good time. You know, and yeah, for the record, I get frustrated as shit with the garbage. And when you get into doing something like running a blog on these topics or doing a show like this where you talk about this stuff and you actually do some research and you start talking to people about it and you get jaded by all of the fucking shit. What happens? You see this 99.999% batch of shit all the time. So you just get fucking jaded about it. But do I still love it? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. I still enjoy it. I still want to fucking click on that video and go, be real.
And it never is.
Never fucking is, man. Never. And I'm sorry, like, my hope for the whole thing is dwindling all the time because it's like we live in an age where everybody has a cell phone. Everybody. I mean, well, okay, not everybody. There are some people that don't. Good portion of the population has a fucking smartphone with a camera that can also take video.
Geez, even some stupid phones have cameras on them, you know?
And high definition video, Steve. Like,
Yep.
why can't we get a picture? All right, to the people who are habituating with Bigfoot, stop, pull your fucking collective heads out of your asses. Photo.
But the Bigfoot won't allow that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just
Mr. Hairy
saying.
creature.
Well, to habituate a Bigfoot, you have to gain trust, and by photographing or videotaping it, that's not gaining trust. That's
Stealing its soul.
That's something. I don't know. It's like all Bigfoot must be Amish. You can't videotape them, or you know, because you're still their soul. I think that's more of a myth than anything, but whatever.
I'm beginning to lose more and more hope when it comes to this stuff because of that. Because if you look at things logistically, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it really doesn't. And I don't want it to be that way. I'd love it. I'd love it if I fucking turned on the TV tomorrow. Definitive proof. There is a Bigfoot. This is what they are. Boom. I'd be happy as shit. I'd be happy as shit if somebody said, yep, UFOs, they have been coming here. They've been mutilating cattle. Like, all this weird shit that everybody's been saying has been going on. It's been going on. That's interesting. I mean, I don't know why I have to have something like that for it to be cool and interesting, but that's right, Steve.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, there's still some compelling things that have happened in the past. I haven't seen anything real compelling.
Absolutely.
Anytime recently, but you know, and so that kind of keeps you going because okay, some things have been really compelling. Not fact. I mean, you can't prove them. Can't prove a damn thing. And we've talked about this many times in the last few shows, but there's still a few things that keep you going because, hey, maybe there is a tiny little stitch of truth to some of this, you know? And so...
Well, here's the fucking funny thing about what you just said, like the tiny truth shit. Back to our favorite time traveler, John Titor. John Titor stated years before it happened that CERN would do these certain things. For the most part, he was absolutely correct about that. Now, he was wrong about a great many fucking things. About the technology shit that he spoke about with time travel, and I don't know if it was related to time travel or not, but what he said was related to time travel. These steps would happen that would take place at CERN, create these fucking miniature black holes and, you know, do this weird shit, and going to be the basis for time travel. Now, maybe that guy was just a astrophysicist fucking with people. You know, knew a little bit of shit, and knew, hey, this is the road they're going to be going down anyway. These are the things they're going to find. If I can relate this to time travel, I don't fucking know. But in all of them, you get these little things, like you're saying, these little grains of fucking truth that you find every once in a while that hang it on. You just, why? I can't let go because of that. Stuck. Like, I think about the Betty and Barney Hill case. How the fuck did she know about star maps that we didn't even fucking know about yet?
Yeah, that's one thing that really gets me too with her. The rest of the story I could care less about. It's that part of it that, you know, she shouldn't have known any of that shit.
Yeah. And that, I don't like that case because of the whole hypnosis angle. But how the fuck did she know about those star maps? Those are the things that I want to know the answers to those questions. I want to be able to have those questions taken care of. Like those little things that, motherfucker, you keep me fucking. It's like I try to get out and they drag me back in.
There's a movie that my wife likes. I can't remember the name of it, but he's in this.
Oh, I was going to say something god awful.
He's in this hotel and he keeps going through this. I mean, it's really fucked up, the shit he goes through, but he finally gets out and goes back to his normal life. And then all of a sudden he's back in this hotel, like after a year or something. And he's like, I was finally out, you know, and that's what this is, same thing. You know, you were finally out, and then it drags you right the fuck back in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
days, there's days I still, there's days, man, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with the fucking 40 and shit. I'll do this show because I enjoy it. But other than that, I'm done. I don't want anything to do with it. And then somebody will say something or send me something or something, and it just drags me right the fuck back in every fucking time.
Well, there's a lot of this stuff, like, and it's not anything that comes about that drags me back in. It's these little things, like the Betty and Barney Hill thing that we just talked about. You know, the fact that when I look at the fucking Patty video, I'm like, you know, and we've spoken about this one before, which, you know, a certain dickhead who runs a group, or does he run it anymore? The coalition?
Yeah, if it's the person that I think you're speaking of, yes.
Yeah. Because he'll bitch all about when you say anything about Freeman, but the Freeman footage. Because when I see those two pieces of footage, those are the ones where I'm like, I'm like confused.
I can do without the Freeman footage. To me, it's okay. It's good footage, but it's not on the level of Patty, obviously, in my opinion. But it's convincing. You know, there's things about it that doesn't make sense that this guy could have done that. You know, could have made a video that convincing. Now he can fake footprints all he wants and say he faked footprints all he wants, which I'm still convinced was more of a misstatement or misrepresentation of what he actually said. I'm sorry, Stephen, that's the way I feel. But the footage itself isn't the most impressive footage in the world. But when you look at the guy who allegedly hoaxed that footage, then you got to say, how would he have been able to do that? You know, and same with the Patterson footage. You know?
And
The
I
guy
run
was
into a
good,
lot
but he
of those.
wasn't good. Great.
I run into a lot of those same problems when I'm looking at it myself too, thinking about those types of things. It's like, yeah, did they really hoax that? It's like, well, if these things are around, how come more people aren't seeing them? People who are the woo people who will say, well, that's because they can cloak it well, and they can make it so you can't see them, and frequencies of trail cameras in their assholes as they get closer to them.
Which is
There's always
all a way of saying
this,
is we have no proof, so we're going to make up our own.
right. It just goes off into these wild and wacky fucking directions that, to me, it makes me not want to believe it. And the part that says I don't want to believe it is a lot heavier than the part that's like, could be. I just, and it sucks because it's always been that little passion of mine. Obviously, we do this fucking stupid shit. And why would we if we didn't have that passion? That we still hold on to. But I want like nothing in the world for, some of this shit to just come out and be the case. Bigfoot, or like Loch Ness Monster, for instance, another one. Because I like sea monsters a lot better than I like land monsters, because the sea is pretty big.
Well, Loch Ness isn't that big. I mean, overall, compared.
Yeah, but it's got a connection to the ocean.
Yeah, so they're coming in from the ocean, and so skipping out.
I could buy that. I can buy that completely. But I think if somebody wants to be a cryptozoologist, or somebody wants to find new, exciting, strange, creepy fucking animals, they should be get into marine biology or whatever the fuck you got to get into to be that type of person, because that's the shit that's the place where we're going to find shit.
Well, they're only cryptids because we haven't discovered them yet, So.
And they're always discovering new shit in the ocean.
Obviously.
Always.
Yeah, because it's so vast and we've only explored a very tiny fraction of it,
Yeah. We just kind of like drive boats around in it. Submarines.
I'd even
Checked it all out.
I'd buy that there's a fucking Kraken out there, because we don't know. It could be.
Like the Kraken in the Clash of the Titans?
Yeah, sure. I've never seen or heard of that, but I know the name. That's it.
Oh my god.
I just know it's like a sea monster type octopus thing. Isn't it like an octopus or something? The Kraken?
In that movie, no.
Well, I don't need to, but sometimes it is. Right? The Kraken?
Not in that one. It's like this big lizard, like, think of like a kind of a souped up creature from the Black Lagoon. And like 100 times bigger. Yeah.
When I was a kid.
Did I lose you, Steve? Did I lose you? Okay.
You said Creature of the Black Lagoon, right?
Yeah.
Okay, when I was a kid, we went to see that movie, and then we had to leave. My parents didn't appreciate that movie very much, and we were children, and they thought it was something we shouldn't watch. So I never did get to watch it. I'm gonna have to go back and find it. Is it on Netflix or anything?
I don't fucking know.
I'm gonna have to find that movie because I never did get to watch it.
Netflix has a lot of shit, but I don't know if they've got the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, they decided that wasn't appropriate for children. I mean, I was like 8 years old or something bullshit when that came out, or younger, so we weren't allowed to stay. I think they snuck us in the trunk, the drive-in. It was a drive-in.
But no,
See, I was right.
I honestly think that the if you want to be into that type of research, get into those fields. Do something with finding creatures and animals in the ocean, because that's where you're going to find some fascinating shit. That's where the cutting edge, I think, is going to be. Either that or do that speculative biology. Weirdo there that wrote all those books about fucking parasite human beings from the future and I don't know, flightless bats.
I still think there's land animals that are undiscovered, you know, but I don't know that there's.
Well, see, here's another problem there. All right, here, this is where we run into huge fucking problems with this. Okay, evolution is happening, constant on a constant level. We don't see it because major changes. You know, so, and I've talked about those the little anoles there down, I think, in Florida, where there was a new predator was introduced, and then all of a sudden the pads on the backs of their feet, proportionately larger, so that they could get further up into the trees. These predators, and it happened on a fast scale because these, you know, they have a quick breeding cycle. So boom, 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 boom. This shit is happening all the time. Like with us, quite as fast. With human beings, the evolutionary changes because of our breeding cycle in the same way. But these things are happening all around us. The coy wolf is a step in evolution. It is a definite step in evolution. And I will guarantee you that the coy wolf will be the dominant predator in North America before very long.
Right.
And whether or not it's in our lifetimes, I don't know, but it's definitely coming.
So
they are far more versatile of their components.
So are you saying that there are no undiscovered animals except in the ocean?
No, I'm not. No. I'm saying that there are still undiscovered animals out there. See, the problem is that we are having these steps in evolution that are happening all the time. So there's actually changes.
Right, I get that.
Creatures that have somehow made them a different creature that we aren't even seeing.
You see.
Do you get what I'm saying by what I'm saying when I'm saying that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's also, in my opinion, probable animals that we don't even know exist that aren't something as a product like a coy wolf, you know, product of evolution as we know it. And I'm not saying Bigfoot. I mean, it's a big giant fucking ape that we haven't discovered yet. That's stretching it a long way, but smaller things, like something the size of a fucking rat or a mouse or something, I'm sure.
What about Mothman, Steve?
Oh, whatever. But I'm sure that there are a lot
Jersey
of
Devil?
That type of thing that we haven't discovered yet, deep in the Pacific Northwest or the wildernesses of Canada, or, on some uncharted island somewhere. There's some animals that we haven't. So, I mean, I don't think you necessarily have to stick to the ocean to find that stuff. I just think it's going to be a lot fucking harder to find an undiscovered land animal. That's all.
Well, I just think because the ocean is so underexplored, that I think that's where you're going to have the opportunities to really find some interesting and fascinating shit.
Right. Obviously.
For one, we came from the fucking ocean. Are in the ocean. All life on this planet started in the ocean. So I just think for if you're going to be in that type of a field, I think that's the place to be.
But it's no fun.
You know, that's why when we were talking to Jay Cooney, that's what I had said to him. I said, you know, I think that the route that you took with going with water cryptids was the right thing to do, because that's where the shit's going to be really found.
Right.
It's gonna, you know, it's gonna make sense. So that's all I'm saying. That's not to say that I don't think things are going to be found on land. I think that things are still going to be found on land all the time. We're still finding shit. They just found a new creature down in South America, some fucking where, I don't know. It's happening all the time.
Most of the time, though, it's
species of spiders, or
yeah.
You know,
but most of the time, it's just it's a variation of a species that we already know existed. You know, most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking something that we don't even know exists on land, and I'm sure there are some. But you know, is it going to be a big 8 to 10 foot tall hairy ape? Probably not. But is it going to be a small animal? Probably. I mean, I'm sure. And it could be right under our nose, and we just didn't even notice. You know, that kind of thing. But it's a lot harder than finding a new species out in the fucking ocean, because we just don't know. And they find hundreds of them a year, you know, because they're exploring more in the ocean.
It's just, the ocean's vast.
And the
ocean, fucking crazy vast.
Ocean fucking creatures are fucking cool. Some of them things are so fucking far out of what we understand.
They change colors. They light up.
It's so cool.
Some of them are fucking phosphorescent.
They
glow at night.
I'm afraid of the water. I don't like getting in the water. You know, I'm afraid of drowning.
You got rabies?
No,
you know that's fatal, Steve.
We ignore the live chat. I was told that I have to ignore the live chat, Dean. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, so now you made me lose track, Dean. Thanks. I forgot what I was saying. What the fuck? No.
Ignoring the live chat today. Yes, you fucking stupid douchebag. We're trying to do a show. Fuck.
We don't give shout outs and things like that. That's not how we run this operation.
If I need someone to play the archetypical fucking version of God, I call you, Dean. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Back to the Fortean Slip.
But anyway, so some of those fucking creatures are way cool, but I'm not going to go find them. So I'll leave that up to like Jay Cooney and somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not just saying that being a cryptozoologist or a person who's searching for, you know, these strange creatures is any less than what would, you know, doing the same thing in the water. It's just that I think that the fascinating things are going to be found in the water.
Right.
Personal belief that's where we're going to find some of the more fascinating shit out there is in the fucking water, rather than on land.
What you're saying is, if you want to discover something, that's the way to go, instead of chasing myths around all the time, or possible myths, probable myths. You know.
Listen, Steve, what I'm saying is, if you want to go look for snow, you don't go to Florida.
Not usually. They may have it on occasion, but it's a very rare, and you're probably never going to see it.
Right. That's what I'm saying, Steve. That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Stick with the fucking program.
I got it.
So, you know, but like I said, to get back to what I was talking about earlier, you know, we'll figure this fucking shit out. Get back on fucking track. I will bring back some version of the fucking news. Yes. What I'm going to do with it, I haven't quite decided yet, or how we're going to do it, when we're going to do it, what portion of the show we're going to do it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't fucking. And yes, of course, I want Richard to be doing the fucking show. but it does make it hard when our schedules, like mostly my schedule now, because Steve is an entrepreneur.
A stay-at-home dad. I like that term. I like entrepreneur is good. Yes.
Yeah, you're an entrepreneur. But
A lazy
I don't
son
get
of
out
a
of I
bitch.
don't get out of work until fucking 4. Sometimes I work my second job. You know, at 4 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock at night where Richard is. So, and I'm getting out of work at 4, so I still have to go home and get all my fucking shit situated. So it's just been a pain in the ass. But we'll either figure it out or we won't. Richard's always very amenable to trying to work around with things to be able to his schedule, which we have appreciated, by the way. It's just that lately I've been wanting to get these shows out there because of the lapse in shows that we had for so long. I just put out a show. Steve and I always did shows together, just him and I before for a long time. So it's not different than what we've had on the fucking channel before. It's just that's what I have to do in order to fucking put this shit out. Love it or leave it. I really don't give a damn. I don't. But yeah. So you got anything else, Steve?
I'm down to 3 milligrams.
3 milligrams.
That's what I have. Yes, 3 milligrams per milliliter. Will's down to 12. So.
Steve, that is a horrible segue setup.
It was segue to what?
/ statement. Like I'm like, have you got anything, Steve? Yeah, I'm down to 3 milligrams. Milligrams of what? Viagra?
No, I don't use Viagra. I don't need Viagra.
Right. So why don't you fucking clarify the situation before you just say I'm down to 3 milligrams?
I don't know, because it's not who I am.
No.
I never make any sense. And
for those of you who don't know, Steve is vaping nicotine oil. 3 milligrams of nicotine.
I make my own vape juice too, so it's cheaper that way. If you once you get to do it, learn to do it, it's way cheaper. So.
Steve's a jack of all trades and a master of none. He is just
I am a master of nothing. That's for sure. I mean, the truer statement has never been said.
Oh God. You know what I'd love to do though, Steve? I've been toying with this idea. We can never do it though. We'll never be able to figure it out, but I was toying with this. Is it I could get into a van and go to like these different cryptid locations, haunted locations. Put that on YouTube.
Can it be a Volkswagen?
I think could work. It would have to be a fucking Volkswagen, you jackass. Like, even though I wouldn't want it to be a Volkswagen, it would have to be a Volkswagen.
Here's the funny part. But
it would have to be a Volkswagen bus. And we would have to drag Timothy Leary out of his fucking grave, or I don't know if he's got burnt to ashes or whatever, to drive the bus and give us acid.
I want to drive it. It's a fucking Volkswagen.
No, see, Steve, if we do this, you're going on a trip.
What kind of trip?
This is a fucking magic bus. This is a fucking magic bus, Steve.
Then I'm out. I don't do that.
You can't be out. You can't be out with these new experiences that can open your mind, fucking bring you enlightenment.
I would rather have my mind closed, to be honest with you. I think I've talked about this before.
And unfortunately, I think that most people that like you would like your mind to remain fucking closed too.
I think so. I think that's the charm.
And you know what, Steve? We're never getting Mick West.
Never.
This has been the Fortean Slip, episode 139. If you like this shit, hit the little thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. Leave a comment, subscribe. Out. Matt Knapp at youtube.com/bigfootcrossroads. Check out Steve at teamcrypto.com. And what is your YouTube channel that you use and you fucking...
Oh, no, you just look up my name. You'll find me.
Yeah, look up Steve Alcorn on YouTube. Go watch a couple of his videos that
Or
he
not.
somehow spins into gold with some of this shit. Check out Richard's blog. The links are underneath. They should be underneath the video currently on YouTube because I put all the links underneath already. If you haven't liked our like page on Facebook, please go like our like page on Facebook. Check out Fred Dunn at youtube.com/Dred Funn and dredfunn.com. I can't stress it enough. Go give fucking Dred Funn some love, people. He just
Please.
did a pencil drawing of fucking Malcolm McDowell from A Clockwork Orange. I fucking loved it. Go check out his shit. Just go look at it. Just a couple of videos. That's all I'm asking you people. All of you. Go fucking watch some Fred Dunn videos. And as always, go check out the Forteanslip.com and the Forteanslip.blogspot.com. Share our shit around. Give us some fucking love, you fucking diehard people who check this shit out every week. Get us out there. See ya!